Hello and welcome back to another video. This time we are going to be going through some Warlords of Draenor stuff. Essentially, there's really no news today for Warcraft Daily, so I'll probably just talk about the tweets and that sort of thing. And I just noticed I have a whole bunch of different Q&A things from Blizzcon that are more just sort of smaller topics or miscellaneous things. So the nice thing about this video is you're going to get a lot of information about a lot of different topics. So, let's jump into it. First of all, they said the Enchanted Fey Dragon mount will be a store mount, and it's going to be sold to the benefit of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and it's either going to be sold alone or in a combo pet with another pet for the charity. Honestly, I think that's great. Money's going to charity, people are getting cool mounts. This is the only time where I would personally be okay with spending the money. I think that's really cool, so good on you, Blizzard. I suppose, personally, I should probably say, like, charitable giving, whatever it is, as long as it's to a good thing, awesome, you know, if that's your thing, that's cool. Sometimes, though, like, personally, if I was to give 20 quid to someone, I'd rather give it, this is no diss to Make-A-Wish or the, like, wonderful work that they do, but I'd rather give it to, like, Water or someone, but, hey, like, it's still great, and if you are going to buy a mount, buy this one, because money's going to a good cause, and a better cause than just, like, Blizzard's pocket, I suppose. Now, also, they said that the new panels, that's the new user interface for heirlooms and toys, work similar to how pets and mounts do today, with some restrictions like sort of Horde versus Alliance mounts and that kind of thing. Also, they said the transmog doesn't require you to keep the item forever, and that is a system that's on the list, so they'd like it that ideally you unlock your transmog item and then you can just use it in whatever characters you want. Although, unfortunately, this will not be ready for the Warlords of Draenor launch. They also said that people are working on a side project to update the old Warcraft games to run on modern versions of Windows. This is something which I will probably do a future video about, talking about it. Maybe I don't know, I think I can make something cool out of that, actually. Also, they said that the Yak Reforged vendor will be replaced with something else, and that there is, unfortunately, what some people would view as unfortunately, no servers for old expansions. When someone asked about this, they said, trust me, you don't want to play vanilla servers. And I suppose there is a thing where rose-tinted glasses, people, I suppose, having lots of nostalgia for the old world, and I guess that does make some semblance of sense to me. I think that if we went back to Burning Crusade and vanilla, it would be quite jarring, but honestly, I do think there's a market for it, and I do think some people would enjoy it. At the end of the day, people still play EverQuest 1. There's still room for older ways of doing things in the space, and I don't know if, I don't know. I think it would actually work if they just did it one server with an additional fee, a bit like for the tournament server. That said, I'd rather all the resources went into Warlords of Draenor, so yeah. They also said that the old version of Outland remains unchanged, the current timeline is already somewhat of a mess, so the team basically is like segmenting Warlords of Draenor off to an alternate universe style thing using the Dark Portal to facilitate that, and you may just access the current Outland via the Caverns of Time. So next, I have some profession things. They said the recipe UI is a part of the sort of whole profession system that could use some work. So it's kind of like on the list after the current tasks. So probably won't make it for the Warlords of Draenor launch, but it's nice to know that's something that's on their list of things to do. Personally, when I did professions, I used add-ons like Trade Skill Master, Little Sparky's Workshop, things like that, to try to make the UI a little bit better, because it really is bad. They also said that catch-up mechanics for things like cooking and archaeology are things that were added in Misc Pandaria, but would also be nice to have for all of the professions. I think that's totally fair. I remember leveling up enchanting recently, and it cost me about 14k to get through Cataclysm, because the prices were so exorbitant for Cataclysm mats, and being someone who doesn't have, I calculated how much time it would take to farm everything, and it was just too much damn time. So next, let's talk about PvP, and then we'll talk about guilds, and we'll see where that takes us. They said World PvP outside of the World PvP zone isn't going to be a huge focus, especially how one-sided PvP realms are. That's true. One thing I will say, though, there'll be more World PvP because there will be no flying mounts, meaning you will run into other players, and if you are on a server that at least has some semblance of faction balance, sorry, wow, cough, and there is World PvP, like, basically if there's a decent faction balance, there's more of a chance of World PvP happening in Warlords of Draenor than there is in Misc Pandaria because of the no flying. Also, they said the odds of World PvP happening right at the edge of someone's garrison should be fairly low, so phasing shouldn't be a large issue, and the large World PvP zone is likely where most of the people who are interested in the more casual kind of World PvP will end up. They also said, let's talk about guilds now, that there aren't going to be any more guild levels or perks for Warlords of Draenor. There is no way to expand every system with every expansion, and going forward the team would like to compartmentalize the systems, and that we're adding the expansion and just sort of... Sometimes if one thing's added an expansion and it works and it's good and there's not like really a great deal of gameplay, then they don't need to keep on adding things to it every single expansion. Sometimes if they keep adding things to a system, the system just gets kind of heavy and bloated and not of the quality which Blizzard would expect, I suppose. They also said that a good example of this is the farm that was added in Misc Pandaria, and once Warlords of Draenor is released, you don't have any reason to go back to it. That's it, your farm's done. One thing that I will say though is that any profession people who want to, maybe if there's some like leveling up things that require motes of harmony, or whatever thingies of harmony, then maybe that plant on your farm could be worthwhile. Now that said, in the garrison system I do believe there is a farm. They also said that the guild system wasn't designed to make people want to be in a guild, as people generally already want to be in a guild. Humans are social creatures mostly, and I think that's fair enough. And was more just added to recognise the accomplishment of guilds, so people feel a little bit more like they're banding together for a cool reason, and I think that's a good way to do it. Next, let's talk about the models, then pet battles, and that will be us done through this giant document of question and answers that I have. So, models. They said that after the new character models are all done, the team will have a look at adding more customization options and that kind of thing, and that the team has not decided on how character models will be released yet, and that they could all have, every race completed at launch, or they could be added every, patch-wise. Now, personally, what I think is happening, based off what I've heard from Blizzard staff, not personally, of course. I'm not in that deep yet, but well, based off what I've heard, the 8 original races should be done for the Warlords of Draenor release, and the Draenei and Blood Elves will come after that, and that they're still sort of deciding on Worgen and Goblin. If you are a Worgen or Goblin, though, I would imagine... Well, first of all, you're not as high priority, because if you compare Worgen and Goblin to the other 2 races, Worgen and Goblin look the best in the game in terms of graphical fidelity. So it's more, the priority's higher for getting the original races and then the Blood Elves and Draenei in. Honestly, I don't think Draenei need it as much as Blood Elves. I think Draenei have aged quite well because of... Well, I don't know, my character's female... Main character I play is female Draenei, and they sort of... I don't know, they don't really look too crowded with polygons, I suppose, but it would be nice to have high-resolution textures. Funny story about that, the reason why I chose a Draenei is because all the other character models for the Alliance were just quite ugly and way too... jaggy polygons and that kind of thing. And then when I looked at Draenei, I thought, okay, so the female Draenei looks a bit weird, but not that, not terrible. And the male looks like Hulk Hogan from space crossed with a goat that's blue. So I wasn't really too into the Hulk Hogan thing. Fun fact, at the time, I thought that Hulk Hogan was Miley Cyrus's dad. I got Hulk Hogan and Billy Ray Cyrus mixed up. So basically, that's why I have a female Draenei. There's a bit of lore for you halfway through my video. So there you go. They also said that new hairstyles will be coming with the new models, and that, of course, they'll also be updating all of the current old ones. Next, let's talk about pet battles, and this is the final thing for this video. They said there are not any major changes planned to the pet battle system, just the addition of some new pets, new trainers, and buildings in your garrison. And that also the team has talked about putting some more effort into pet battles on mobile devices, but it hasn't really worked out well yet internally, and it's something they'll keep on looking at doing. I don't think this will be massive. But what I do think Blizzard should do is just have a team of maybe 10, 15 mobile developers, or just game developers that at least have skills in mobile, and get those guys to start porting things over. Actually, maybe they could ship it off to the part of the Hearthstone team that's doing the iOS and Android versions of Hearthstone. The pet battles could work quite well as a fun little mini-game for World of Warcraft people. I think that's quite cool. But anyway, that's it for this video, and that's BlizzCon over, people. I don't have anything else to say on the matter. That's every question that was asked at the con, every interview, every single damn thing done. So, yeah. So ends the crazy week. Thank you very much for watching. I will have plenty of other videos out today, including some nice Hearthstone, I believe, hopefully. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.